Michael Jordan with AB Friendly Company. Welcome to the Underground Meadery. It's March. We went ahead and started off March with a apple cider. We just showed you how to just dump yeast in apple juice. You could juice your own apples. You could buy apple juice, whatever you want to do. And we just showed you how to make a simple cider. I mean, it's super easy, nothing complex about it. So since it is March, we're going into apples. We've already went ahead and prepped out and did everything just like we've showed you in the videos. Fermentation vise, half-gallon fermentation device. Recipe on the front of the jar of what we're going to be using. Honey, yeast, balloon, gravity testing, temperature, hydrometer, right? Everything we're going to show you just like we always do all the way through. So since it is March and we're doing apple, I shipped in orange blossom honey from Uncle Henry. They're out of Washington. They do apple pollination on a commercial scale, and they're one of the few pollinating companies that does not use corn sugar to feed their bees. It's hard to get honey from them due to the fact that they feed their honey back to their bees because they are a commercial beekeeper, and they're from, I can't pronounce the name, it's Okanogan, Okanogan River Valley, and it's Uncle Henry's natural product. You can probably find them on the internet. I did a lot of research to find them, to find a good natural raw apple blossom honey. Now in January we did clover honey, in February we did orange blossom honey, and now in March we're using apple blossom honey. So we have our half-gallon fermentation jug. We're using water from our well that has the reverse osmosis on it to use. We've dumped in 2 pounds of apple blossom honey. We're using the Red Star yellow pack, which is the Premier champagne yeast. We've used this yeast for all of our raw honeys. So all the raw honeys will be the same. We're going to be using our balloon. We're going to take a hydrometer and a temperature reading. And as always, we're going to have a mead. This is a macadamia nut mead. You can take macadamia nuts, boil them and blanch them. Use the water from the macadamia nuts that you boiled and blanched, and then use a macadamia nut honey to go with it and make a mead. Looks pretty good. A little bit on the not clear side. It's from the first batch that we did. This would not be one that I would enter in a competition because it's not clear. And the one reason why I want to show you this is I like it. It has a little bit of the oil still in it from the nuts. But I wanted to show you, get yourself a good flashlight. And this helps you see the clarity. You can see the stuff kind of floating in it. And this is the residual oil that when it was shook up, it's floating, it's getting ready to go back to the top. But with the light, when you shine it, you're going to be able to see the stuff floating in it. It's going to help you do your clarities of your mead. So get yourself a good flashlight so you can shine it through and you can kind of see the stuff floating in it. This will also help you when you do your swirl. Helps you see the legs on the glass. So as it floats down, you can see the legs and stuff as they build. So get a flashlight. It's going to help you see the clarity and stuff of your meads. This is a macadamia nut. So we've already dumped our honey in our jug, and we used our coffee pot to heat the water, and we shook it all up. So that way the honey was all mixed. So this one's all ready to go. The honey was a little bit thicker, but it took quite a while for us to film it because this honey was pretty thick. It's on the verge of maybe crystallizing. Crystallization's not bad. You just boil water, take the lids off your jars, stop the water from boiling and stick the jars there and let it sit in the heat. You do that a couple times. Don't boil the honey because it's too hot and it'll kill the enzymes in the honey. But you can boil the water and turn it off. The water will be hot and you can uncrystallize your honey that way. and pour it in. So we went ahead and already dumped that in there because it was really, man, it was super thick. But the honey itself had a good apple taste in it, which was kind of nice, kind of interesting to taste. So we've dumped the honey in, we've dumped the water in, we've shook it up from our coffee pot. I wrote down on our recipe, apple blossom mead, 2.5 pounds or 2 pounds of apple blossom honey. We're using a 1/2 gallon of water from our well, 1 pack of the Red Star Premier. Today's date is 3/3/17. We're going to get a temperature reading and our starting gravity. And we do this with every one of them. It's going to be our recipe base. If we like it or not, we'll be able to write a couple stars on it, a couple glasses, however you want to mark what you like, what you didn't. 1 to 10 scale. Take a whole punch it 4 or 5 times if you like it to 5-star. But that way we always have a recipe for our index. That way we can pull it out, make the duplicate exact recipe, and then we can even see how our starting gravities are from the honey by the sugar content. So let's take our starting gravity. Remember, just a little more than halfway. If you get too full and you stick your hydrometer in, it will overflow. Wow. So orange blossom honey has a lot of sugar. When it's condensed, when it was really thick like that, man, it was really thick. So I'm sorry, we were using apple blossom honey. So this was really thick. On our hydrometer reading, this is reading 1.170. So this is pretty high on the hydrometer. This is one of the higher honeys I think that we've had for just doing a basic mix. 1.170. Right, so on potential alcohol, if we would get it to go from 1.170 down to 1.000, we need all the sugar. We're looking at it says basically 22% alcohol by volume. So that's pretty high, right? So we'd have to see. I've never used an apple blossom honey before. I've used orange blossom, avocado, and stuff like this. So this one's new. And like I said, I found a really good supplier for this honey. So I really enjoyed that. So we've got our starting gravity and everything down. So let's go ahead and take a temperature reading. We can hit the jar. This is 80. Oh, now it's 79.8, which is pretty good. We're going to go ahead and take a temperature reading right here real quick to see if the 78 was about the same margin. This is 77. So we're pretty close. So we're going to write down our starting temperature at 78. We'll dump that back in here. And I'm really interested to see how the apple blossom tastes before we start. So remember to leave a little bit at the end. I can already tell you, if we threw a cinnamon stick in here, this would be really good. Super good honey. That's from Uncle Henry's. I'm not getting paid for any plug or anything, but I do want you to find honey from a beekeeper you respect. And I think, if you do your research and kind of look around, you'll find what I'm talking about. We're going to go ahead and add our yeast. I'd like to thank the comment from Alan. He likes the word jostle. He says he's never heard the word before. So maybe I'm going to be like Don King and make up my own words. So we just give it a little jostle. to get the yeast to kind of mix up in the solution. And then I've always, of course, I like using the balloons because from a distance I can see them blowing up, and I just like using them. So there you have it. The month of March, we're making apples. So we've showed you to just take apple juice and add yeast to make a cider. And now we've got into using an apple blossom honey. So we're going to be able to compare it to all the other honeys throughout the year. I'm Michael Jordan with AB Friendly Company. Thanks for tuning in here at the Underground Metering. We are going to give you a winner. We've had actually 5 people enter the contest that I told you that we'd send you a jug. We'd send you our Bellini mix for peach Bellini and a packet of yeast and some AB Friendly honey. So we did pick a winner. We're going to be giving that to you at the end of March here after we're all done, after I talk to him about shipping and stuff and get it to him. So I will tell you that we did get some entries for the February Orange. Be on the lookout that we will be doing some more contests to try to get your recipes, your input, get you more involved into making mead. We really appreciate you tuning in, and enjoy mead.